All right, Gemini, you guys sucked me into this one like right off the bat as soon as the call of the night showed up. But I think that a lot of you have already been putting yourselves in positions where you may not have been comfortable and things may not have worked out, but it's like there's still something that's like pulling on you. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You have to go experience something new, something different. Getting out of that comfort zone. And with the Rainbow Prince, this is saying that it's going to pay off. It is going to pay off. So the call of the night, daring, adventure, and excitement, and the Rainbow Prince, compensation and perseverance. I love that this showed up as an ally. It basically says to follow your bliss to the pot of gold waiting for you. Perseverance pays off, and your reward will be greater than you imagine. But you have to get out there and do it. All right, Gemini, here's your overall. Oh, shit. Yeah. Speaking of something difficult, the Ten of Swords. So I see this as the overall as being something that you've already experienced. It's not something that you're going to be looking forward to. The problem is that the focus is still on a situation that has ended in a very difficult way. So the hope here is that you're kind of getting over this now, that the worst of the situation is over with, but we'll see. Now, in the past, you have the past. I shit you not, this whole week, and I swear to God, it just like dawned on me a little bit ago that it's probably because of Venus going retrograde. Everybody is having to deal with the past coming back up in different ways. So with the Six of Cups as the past, we're talking about a situation where there is a lot of history. There may be some good memories, but then with the Ten of Swords, we're definitely talking about you possibly being stuck with what happened in the past. These are places you've already been. But this could definitely point to a past situation that is coming back through. Oh, nice, nice. So, justice in the present moment. With the Ten of Swords, the thing is, though, is even if you are getting that fairness, you're still focused on the worst of what has happened. I think that, you're trying to get over it, but, it may be kind of like coming back up, but it's coming back up in a way not to remind you of how bad a situation was, but it's coming back up to show you that, it's going to be corrected. Now, we could definitely be talking about a past situation or a past person coming back through who may have done you wrong in a really bad way here, and they may be, being held accountable for this or wanting to make amends. But we'll see here. Okay. And I don't know that... I look at the Six of Pentacles and, I don't know that you want to be open to receiving an apology, because this was a big wrong. This was a big wrong with the Ten of Swords being there. Now, on the other hand, if we're talking about, the equal give and take, I don't think that there's anything else that you want to give to this. What I worry about here is that you're okay with kind of being stuck with this past feeling of, you were really shitty to me and things ended in a really bad way. I don't know if, I want to give what you are trying to give to me. And it's funny because you have the major and the minor. But then the other thing that I worry about is, for some of you, you may be dealing with somebody here that is like expecting you to return that same kind of, accountability back toward them. It's almost like, I'm sorry, but you need to say sorry for what you did wrong. And with the Ten of Swords being there, I get the feeling that for you, it's like, no, I don't want nothing to do with this anymore. Man, oh man. Your best path to follow, the Ten of Pentacles. This to me is saying that there is a reason why this came to an end, and it led you to be in a place here where you have overall security and stability, and that by far is more important than getting involved with a person here who may not be being sincere. I don't think that they really thought about their actions, but you're being forced to kind of like look at it again and deal with it, But I do like the fact that, there's this kind of like reminder here that this happened for a reason. Like, this had to come to an end in order for you to be more secure in your own life. And that is by far more important than having to deal with a situation where things ended badly and, it looks like it's headed in the same direction again, but it's not by any fault of yours. Okay. All right. In your environment, the High Priestess. And I love how, the High Priestess and the World in this deck have a very similar vibe, and I love it, but I love how they kept, the B and the J. God forgive me, I can't pronounce the names, but it's, in him is strength, and he will establish. That is what that stands for the Temples of Solomon. And then, of course, the moon is at her feet, right? That hidden knowledge. This could definitely be about, some hidden information that kind of comes out, or we're talking about, you already knew about this, and it's a little bit too late for somebody to be trying to apologize to you. But I do think that in some way, there is going to be a sense of like, balance with this, right? Like, in some weird way, there will be, some level of justice for you, even if all you're experiencing is more security in your life because you chose to get away from this, or chose not to give any more to somebody. And I feel like they're being insincere. But with the High Priestess, again, this could definitely be about something that you already knew. And it's like, you're too late, But definitely it's about trusting what you know and what you feel in regards to this. Your hopes and your fears, the King of Swords. And, I see that basically as you needing to, think logically and clearly, right? Like, listening to reason here and speaking the truth. But if we're talking about the person that you're dealing with the King of Swords, if it's another air sign, male or female, doesn't matter to me. The thing is we're still talking about, a situation where somebody is not taking the way that you feel into consideration. Because it's not about coming from a place of, emotional investment. That doesn't matter when it comes to the King of Swords, But the thing is that the truth of the situation and the clarity there that needs to be spoken is that there is, a reason why the situation ended the way it did, and that it did end in a very painful way that I don't believe was fair to you, and I don't believe that it's fair that this is something that you're having to deal with now. And secrets may have been what caused this situation to come to that kind of end. But I kind of see that King of Swords is what you're projecting out. You're not letting anybody into your inner world with the High Priestess, but you are going to be very clear and truthful with the communication here that it's over. There's no reason to revisit this. And I can't, I swear to God, I can't accept your apology. That's what I feel about that. And coming out strength. Yep. Having to find your inner strength here and not, give anything else to this. Absolutely, with the Six of Pentacles. But I don't think that you want to in the first place. Like I said, I think that you're dealing with a person who is like, acting like they're entitled to something because all of a sudden now they decided to do the right thing, if that makes sense. Yeah. And again, not wanting to have, the same thing kind of happen over again, right? I mean, this situation is going to work out in your favor here. Right? You just need to find the strength to, keep your distance from this, like keeping things to yourself, keeping all of this away. with the Knight of Pentacles and looking at the Six of Cups, I think that for a lot of you, especially with strength, looking at that, I think that you had to make slow and steady progress toward, something better for yourself. Again, the security and stability, something realistic and practical. You had to work really hard to get away from this past. Now, looking at the Four of Pentacles, again, this is kind of where I feel like you're talking about, or you're dealing with somebody here who feels like, well, I gave you an apology, I deserve one. For you with the Four of Pentacles, there's a reason why you're not letting go of things, and it's because of the way that they're acting. I really feel that really strongly about this. That this person is insincere. Because all they're doing is creating more focus on how difficult things were and how badly it ended. Now, looking at the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Pentacles, if you give to this, are you going to see the same thing over again? But I think that fate this time is, again, working in your favor. There's a reason why this is happening, but it's happening to work it out of your life once and for all. So you're needing to find the strength not to kind of give to this situation again. The security and stability that you have worked so hard for, that may have taken you a while to gain, is not something that you should sacrifice in this situation. And there are definitely some things that I think that you need to kind of keep to yourself. I feel like that looking at these two, you're not lying, you're not, being deceitful by any means, but there is, your own inner world here that they are not privileged to anymore. So, sorry guys. And again, with the crown chakra and looking at the High Priestess, absolutely, you need to trust what you know and what you feel here. But this is opening up to, the information that Source is trying to bring to you. Opening up to that wisdom here and using that wisdom to set better intentions, but then also using your wisdom when it comes to what the intentions of others are. So pay attention to what your gut instinct is telling you, your intuition in this situation. And then breaking trail, a breakthrough is at a hand. Yeah, and this is not something that is ever going to repeat itself again. You need to be able to enjoy your life and enjoy how hard you have worked for the things that you have. Your security and stability is by far more important than what this person is expecting from you. That's fine that they want to be, accountable for what they did, but they can't flip the script and say, well, I'm sorry that I acted that way, but it's because of you. I really am clearly getting that. Now, obviously, that's not going to be for all of you, but definitely there is going to be at least some kind of fairness and balance for you coming out of a very difficult situation. That could definitely involve secrets from the past here. But like I said, with the Six of Pentacles and then looking at the Ten of Swords with strength coming out, this is not something that needs to come back to life here. It's done. You need to find the strength here to give to yourself, not to another person or what they're expecting to give to you. But like I said, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Go out there and experience different people, different situations, different things that, you normally wouldn't get involved with the call of the night. Follow those adventures and those passions, because there is going to be a reward for you. But this cycle definitely needs to come to an end with this person, and I think that it is. And in this case, I don't think that if, we're talking about the Four of Pentacles for you, that's a bad thing. You need to hold on. You need to hold on to those things in your inner world that they don't have a right to know about anymore.